Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Saturday to you. We are continuing to keep an eye on what is just a tropical wave at this time, but Fred making its way now into the Gulf of Mexico. We've seen a lot of path shifting with this system. There's still a lot up in the air when it comes to what exactly Fred is going to do over the next couple of days, but we do have some updates and we want to share them with you so that you can be prepared and that you also have the latest information. So right now we do have, yes, Fred, which actually is not a tropical storm. I don't know why this has a tropical storm icon on it, but it's actually just a tropical wave. But what we also have is Grace, which is a tropical storm, and that's right on the heels of Fred, making its way closer into the Caribbean at this time. But we're going to keep our eyes on Fred because it is a bigger concern for us here across the Panhandle. Right now, you'll notice it says the remnants of Fred. It's essentially just a tropical wave. It's not a tropical depression. It's not a tropical storm. Why is that? Well, a couple days ago, it crossed over the island of Hispaniola and got shredded by that mountainous terrain, and it has not redeveloped a center of rotation over the past couple of days, even as it now makes its way out of the coast of Cuba and towards the Gulf of Mexico. That does not mean, however, that it won't redevelop its center. It's still kind of up in the air of when exactly it may redevelop its center. So that's been the biggest concern when it comes to the path of the system as well as the timing. Now, the National Hurricane Center, along with many other folks across the meteorology community, expecting it to stay on the weak side as a tropical depression at least over the next 24 to possibly even 48 hours, but there is potential to see some strengthening and reorganization, especially as it goes right over the open Gulf of Mexico, which we may then see it reach tropical storm status once again Sunday night into Monday morning. And you'll notice here also that the timing has changed of when exactly the storm system will come into the northern Gulf Coast areas due to not only the weaker system it is now, but also redevelopment and reorganization will take a little bit of time as it moves from the southeast to the northwest. So we'll be looking at our conditions here across the Panhandle to start to deteriorate more so by Monday afternoon is when we may start to see some tropical rain bands coming on to the shorelines, and that will likely continue through the evening and also in through Tuesday morning. By Tuesday afternoon, we should be watching Fred push off towards our far north and east, and at that point, don't think we'll really have too many tropical impacts here across the Panhandle. Certainly by Wednesday, no longer a concern for us here in Northwest Florida. So let's take a look at some of the impacts that may be felt here across the Panhandle. One of the biggest concerns will be the wind gusts, which again with that westerly shift, you'll notice that the peninsula of Florida will not have the highest wind speeds. Most of that is going to be over the Gulf of Mexico, but we could see any wind gusts of around 25 to possibly at most around 45 miles per hour. Here in Northwest Florida, this is just one model run showing you who may experience what across the Panhandle. It's not guaranteed, but you'll see that most of our wind indicators here are going to be less than that of a tropical storm, but we could get some stronger gusts out there for sure. That's why we've forecasted anywhere from 25 to around 45 mile per hour wind gusts, and especially along the coastline, especially where you can see it is a little bit darker red, that does indicate higher intensity for some stronger wind gusts. That could be anywhere from around 50 to possibly even 55. Again, it's still very dependent on the intensity of this storm system, if it is a tropical storm, or if it could be a little bit stronger upon its landfall. We're also going to be watching for a bigger concern when it comes to rainfall, as we are going to likely now be on the eastern side of the storm system. We're going to get likely some tropical rain bands that set up and shift over the same area for a long period of time. That could lead to anywhere from, say, 3 to 6 inches of rainfall in general, but we could also have some isolated higher amounts, especially along the coastline, and very much so determined by where those tropical rain bands set up. This is the European model. It's giving you kind of a roundabout of maybe 3 to 5, 5.5, 6 inches as a good basis there, but those coastal locations as well as our beach locations could pick up anywhere from around 6 to 8 inches of rainfall. American model GFS here showing you a little bit of differentiation. Again, it's very dependent on the track as well as the intensity of the storm system that rolls through. And this would show that on Monday, yes, we're going to get most of the rainfall. And it's also going to likely continue into Tuesday morning. Rainfall totals on this model are a little bit lower, but generally we're at least looking at about 2 inches of rain to fall in the Panhandle, with some places picking up as much as maybe 6, 7 8 inches of rain. So this forecast is still very much so track dependent. There's still a lot to iron out when it comes to what exactly we're going to experience here in the Panhandle. Again, the timing looks to be that we'll get our weather deteriorating late Monday morning into the afternoon, and we'll likely have stormy conditions throughout the day Monday and also into much of Tuesday. By Tuesday late afternoon, evening, we probably won't be dealing with any more tropical rain bands across our area. So we do have a moderate risk for winds. Again, 25 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible, 55 at the most along the coastline, mainly on Monday, possibly seeing some gusty conditions on Tuesday as well. Rainfall totals around 3 to 6 inches, isolated amounts of 6 or higher along the coast. We're not looking at a big concern when it comes to our storm surge. At the most, I'd say around 1 to 3 feet to look out for. The tornado threat is low, but we can't completely rule it out, especially with any tropical rain bands that do come over land. They'll be isolated in nature, but definitely need to be keeping a close eye on those, as they could spin up very briefly, touchdown for a matter of minutes, and then lift, but that could be a theme that we see quite often Monday into Tuesday. As well as the overall impact, we will be certainly looking at higher waves for our beaches starting Sunday. Really the worst coming Monday and Tuesday. There will be a high risk for rip currents and the potential also to see some flash flooding, and I wouldn't be surprised if our local officials just go ahead and close the beaches as well as the Gulf of Mexico come Monday into Tuesday with those deteriorating conditions. So that's just a quick update on the very latest we have, dependent on what's left of Fred. Again, it's tropical wave right now, but does have potential to re-strengthen into a tropical storm before making an impact on us here in Northwest Florida. We're going to continue to keep a close eye on the system, bringing you updates not only on our website, mypanhandle.com, but also on our newscast. We're up at 6 and 10 o'clock tonight after the NFL game, and you can always check the very latest on our Storm Track 13 app with those updates as well, tracking the radar, the storm system, and you can also go into the radar and outline and overlay where exactly the forecast cone is, so if there's any shifts, you'll be first to see it on our app. We're going to wrap it up for you now. Got a lot of tropical forecasting to work on, and make sure that you get the latest information coming up tonight on News 13 at 6 o'clock.